Before we get into the meat and potatoes of this subfloor video, I just wanted to give a huge shout out to everyone that's helped me and followed along on the journey so far. And thank you so much to Austin Raider for hooking me up with some solid tracks for the video. I really appreciate it. All his info will be in the description box below. Make sure to like and subscribe so you can stay up to date on what I'm doing and where I'm going. Peace.
All right, Gavin and Patrick drinking soju.
She's good. Put that away. Yeah. Ugh. Sawdust. I just want to reiterate, like, I'm not like some super handyman, like I grew up doing this or I do this for a living or anything like that. Like, just hours of research, hours of videos, and anybody can do this. I'm about to start the process of sound deadening and insulating the van. So what I did is I went online, I went on Amazon, and I bought what's called kill mat. That'll kind of stop that vibrating and make it a little quieter, which you definitely want if you're going to be living in this thing every day. So, come on. Alright, so now that I've got, you know, like, pretty much from the doors back all cleaned up, I'm going to start laying my mat. Let's get it. I also want to point out that, like, I've never done anything like this before, so, like, don't ever let that scare you into not doing something. Yo, what up? Welcome back to the van build. So today I'm just finishing all the sound deadening mat. As you can see behind me, I've got it on both of the sides. And so now all I've got to do is just go down, lay it down on the bottom part, and get ready to build my subfloor. So I'm super excited. All the kill mat is now installed in the van. I am completely done sound deadening this van. I am so stoked. Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the van build. Say hello to my sister.
I can't be on camera.
Alright, yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the van build. I am here with my older sister Kendall. And we are about to spend the day in the freezing, snowy cold doing my subfloor. And we are about to turn this floor into something pretty, hopefully. Hopefully. Alright, so your first step when you're doing your subfloor, from all the videos and everything that I've watched, I'm by far no means an expert in any of this, is you need to map your floor. So I have some construction paper, heavy duty construction paper that I'm going to lay out and kind of make a template and then put it onto like a super cheap piece of wood, and then I'll eventually transfer that to the plywood. So down here at my mom's house, Kendall's helping me with the van. What up? What up, Insta? Do it for the gram, Kendall. Alright, doing too much. Doing too much. Now that we have all of the floor mapped out, or at least the front half, I'm going to have to go and get another piece of this wood that I'm using to kind of map it out before I get the plywood. I'm going to do that tonight so we can finish it tomorrow. I'm going to go ahead and take the paper and I'm going to lay it over top of the sheep's wood, trace it out, get it cut with my jigsaw, and we'll go from there. I just made one of my first mistakes. My sister was so kind to point it out, and it was this. I have a piece of wood. There's two sides, the side that you want on bottom and the side that you want on top. And I forgot to look, and when we made our cut to put it in, this side that's up top is supposed to be on the bottom. Also, many, many more mistakes to come. Stay tuned. Alright, so now that we have laid down, we've made our traces. We took this cheap wood and we outlined everything on the outside. It's got a pretty good fit to it. We are now going to trace it on plywood and cut the plywood, and hopefully that it will lay even like this does. And then we can start building the frame underneath. So let's get it. Alright, so now it's time. We're going to frame the floor up, and then inside the frame we're going to lay insulation on the inside of that, and then attach the subfloor to the frame, so it's going to be really sturdy and won't be able to slide around when I'm driving or anytime, because nobody wants that. But what I've got is 8 2x2s, which are really 1.5 by 1.5s. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay them out and then build kind of like a checkerboard frame on the inside. So let's see how it works. In my head it looks good. The reason we're using a handsaw is because it's after 10 and well, technically our mom yelled at us. Big news story of the day. I got my she came back with cheeses. I got the layout for my floor plan done. Alright, so it was a successful day. Kendall, what do you think? Yay, nay, successful day?
I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, totally stoked to the max about it. Alright, and a very good morning to you as well. So I am in the van. I am about to wake up, number one. I'm awake, let's do this. Alright, I gotta wake up, I gotta get going. I am on my way to Lowe's. I've got to get a couple more of these framing boards, these 2x2s, just to make a cross grid section for the floor frame in the back. Alright, now that I'm back from, I had to go to Lowe's and Home Depot. Lowe's didn't have any 2x2s, so I had to go to Home Depot and pick up 2x2s. I got 3 more just to fill in the back frame back here, and then I'm gonna put cross beams on all this right here. So yeah. Alright, so before I pulled all of the framing out to kind of like I'm just gonna sweep it and clean up, I just went through and drilled in anchor points. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're putting holes in your van and stuff like that. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna go up underneath after they're in and then put a layer of sealant, and then I'm gonna put great stuff around the sealant, so it's gonna be watertight. So I did it. My entire frame is now set. All the measurements have been made and been cut. Everything has been labeled about where it goes. So hopefully I will remember what all these mean when I take them all out. Alright, so we got the framework all laid down. All of that's done. This is Patrick. Say hello.
How's it going?
Now what we're about to do is we're about to screw everything in. We've got some L brackets to hook these into, and then everything else is just going to screw right in together. So if y'all remember when I anchored down the floor, these are the bolts. And this is the only one I didn't put a washer on just because it wouldn't fit if there was one on. But what I'm going to do is I've got a little bit of this sealant left that I use around the front of the van. This stuff. All weather, stuff like that. And I'm going to just glob it around and seal that off. And then I'm going to put great stuff around it so it's like really good to go. And I'm going to do... So I hired the Goon Squad.
Classic cocktail like the old fashioned.
So
it has that perfect bow.
Now that we've got the frame laid out, we've measured all of the little holes in the frame, so we know exactly what we're going to be cutting. Now we're going to trace it onto the polypro board that we're going to use for the floor, and then cut it up and put it in the spots. Who's excited?
Today tastes like front row seats for
Let's
all.
get it.
Here's the tape.
Little halfway through update. We are almost done. I've just got a few left. And then I'm going to try to get as much around the edges, and then I'll fill in whatever I don't with great stuff. But this Polypro is working really well. Alright, so I've got pretty much everything down. Like, not pretty much, I've got everything down in the frame. Now what I'm doing, I've got a bunch of these, like, just little strips, just from where I had to cut it off, just to make sure that it, you know, wedged. I cut them all. So what I did is I ended up just, every one of them, I would cut it a little big and then just knock it in. So like, you know, you can see how flush that all is. And so what I'm doing now is I'm just taking these little strips, and it really doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like watertight or anything like that. But just going around, and you see right there, there's that little gap. I'm just taking one of these small strips, and I'm just putting it right there. So my sister and I had a good idea. We were trying to figure out how to be able to find the studs once we put the subfloor on top. And so we decided we just taped out from the studs. And so that way we know exactly where we are, and we'll just measure them all out and line them up. And yeah, good idea. Hi, Mom. Good morning. Sorry, I'm distracted by my nephew destroying a piece of Polypro. Are you having fun? Alright, so we got the first little part of the floor down. Got a nice little fit right here. Good fit all the way around the edges. Any space that it's got a little gap, that's okay, because around this wheel well I'm going to put Reflectix, so that's going to fill that same with this right here. I'm gonna have reflectix going around it. So now all I gotta do is, this back piece was too long to lay down because I've got these little lips on the edge. So I've got to cut it in half, and then we're gonna put that in, and then I'll show you when it's done. Yo, check this shit out. I have a floor. There's a floor in here. Ah! This shit's lit. Now I've got to put reflectix over my wheel wells, and then I'm gonna put the floor back in, and then. Alright, so before I officially lay my subfloor down, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and put the reflectix over my wheel wells. I think that'll close the gap a little bit more, and I just want to go ahead and have that on there. So what we're doing now, before I lay the subfloor, like I said, I wanted to put reflectix down. So I've got some spray adhesive, I've got some duct tape, and what I'm going to do is just do some spray adhesive on here, and then on here, stick it down, and then I'll tape it over the top, and then we're just going to wrap it like a present, as my sister would say. So, yeah. Alright, so I have a solid piece of advice if you happen to be watching this and you're building a van. Lay your subfloor down first and walk all over it. You'll find, well, hopefully you won't, but I found one spot in particular where right here, this board right here is kind of chipped back, and that's just, that happens, you know. Sometimes you'll buy a 6-pack and then you'll open it up and one of them will be like that. It just happens. But what I realize is that when I step on this part of the floor, the floor isn't, it sinks in. So what I'm gonna do is luckily I've got some scrap 2x2 just laying around. So I'm just gonna build an anchor and yo, good morning. I just wanted to kind of run over like this week, man. It was a really good week. I'm on my way back up to Nashville right now. I've got to work tonight, but just want to say it was a really good week. It was super fun. Thank you so much to Kendall and Patrick for helping me out on the van. Thank you, Mom, for letting me do it at the house. I really appreciate it. But yeah, we've got a lot of stuff coming. I made a lot of progress, and super pumped, man. I can't wait. Let's get it. Gav's Travs, baby. Welcome to the channel.